feature because I needed to get it out while it was all fresh in my head. So it is raining this Sunday afternoon. I just got home from Maui Mastermind with a client, and a former client was there and a potential new client was there. So it was, a great day. I really enjoyed Dr. Singh the most. And the other gentleman, his name was Sid, but I can't think of his last name off the top of my head. And maybe that's for another day. But it was such a packed weekend of work that by tomorrow, I won't even think of today, because so much more will have happened that this is really why I'm doing it, right? This is why I'm doing this vlog. So Marcus, really, if you listen today or watch or whatever form of broadcast of the content, you're probably the inspiration for me doing it today, because you just asked if I was going to. And I really needed to, because it's a lot going on up here in the old noggin, as my dad would call it, and my mom, more so my dad. So let's start with yesterday. Yesterday was Denim and Diamonds charity event. Oh, and by the way, I got to wear this VIP guest, which I really don't even know how I became a VIP, but I knew that the blue dot on the back means something. I've been to enough conferences to know that. I don't know what it means, but I'm going to find out. Maybe that means I get lunch. I'm not sure. So it was a really great charity event yesterday. Julie Weintraub's Hands Across the Bay, 400 people. Great job presenting sponsor, Pure Life Medi-Spa, and all the other volunteers who helped. Dr. Laura was one of the sponsors, and we had a really great table of beautiful people, physicians, Dr. Deepak Naidu, plastic surgeon from Tampa Bay. We had, and his great partner, David, who I really enjoyed meeting. And then we had Dr. Dreschen and his lovely partner, Karina, who was also lovely. And then Dr. Laura, of course, and his beautiful wife, Penelope, and very handsome son, Marcus, very tall, 6'4", son, Marcus. And it was just it was really great. Everything about it, I loved, I have to say. It was in the afternoon, so I love that, because then I was able to spend a Saturday night not working. So great idea for having a luncheon and getting that many people. I think a lot of money was raised. I know I wrote a check, and I know I bought raffles, so I hopefully contributed to some of that success in this really amazing Hands Across the Bay. And Michael Clayton, if you're listening, well, you're not listening now because there's no viewers. But if you ever happen to watch this, you are meant to speak, because it is a mission that we're on to give some more voice to domestic violence. Okay, so the charity event was great. Denim and Diamonds. I bought a $46 dress from Guess, and the best comment that I heard, kudos to Chitra, my good buddy. She said that I look like Britney Spears from the 80s or 90s. She's from the 80s or the 90s. I think the 90s. No, it wasn't Britney Spears. It was worse. It was Debbie Gibson. Debbie Gibson, like, only in my dreams, baby. You were good back in the day. So I don't mean that as an insult, but the fact that I looked like somebody from back in the day was hard to hear, but hilariously funny. So kudos for the funny. And then diamonds, I had all fake diamonds on, which I'm very proud of. I did not spend any money on diamonds because I like to spend money on experiences. That's just me. And yeah, that's a whole other episode one day about how people spend their money. But it's a great event. And I had a lot of feelings. And this is why This is why today's vlog, oh, hi viewer. I wonder who you are. Sunday afternoon. I hope you're dry because it's flipping pouring out right now. But I really have to say that it's hard for me to express this raw thought process that I have. It's very vulnerable because I think about people that are listening or watching, and I relate so much to Gary Vaynerchuk, who I talk about so much, because he just says it, right? Like, I don't care what anybody thinks of me, but at the same time, I care very much, only because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So I'm going to framework this, as Gary Vee says a lot too, in the proper context. I am all about building relationships and making them happen and brokering deals and making them happen. I was involved in something it was very hurtful. And then with a former colleague, client, and friend now. And then surprisingly, I got a text at the end of the event asking me about my true opinion of it. So my true opinion was that it was amazing. It was great, and congratulations. But I have many other thoughts about many other things. So I always go back to this place of, I will never forget where I came from. I come from very good stock. I have parents that are immigrants from Ireland, and they taught me very well. And I'm humble to a fault, even though people might not think that about me, but I'm super humble. Very difficult for me to ask for anything. And I asked for something that I believed that I fully deserved. And I did not only did I not get what I asked for by this person, I did not even get the respect of being answered when I was asking about it via text and phone calls a few days later. So I'm setting that up because that was a big part of the beginning of the event for me yesterday. And then I looked around the room and I looked at how many people I had brought throughout my wonderful abilities. That is a gift that has been given to me to be this, like, I love to super connect and I love to connect people together, but to watch it from the outside and think about how, how sometimes people don't realize the value of that. And then I shut down and I can't have them in my life anymore on a very, very personal level, because I'm a give, and then I ask, and it's very, 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 very rare that I even ask. I'm not an asker. If I ask, it's usually attached to a check or credit card number. So, but let me just say, an amazing event. So great spending time with Dr. Laura and his entire family. I enjoy them very much. I love seeing everybody connecting and having fun and raising money for this amazing charity. And Melissa Dome is incredible. And what that woman has survived is just incredible. So 2 viewers, hey, you must be inside from the rain too. Maybe 2:49 on a Sunday is a good day to vlog. So thanks for tuning in. Now I'm gonna go to today. So 8 o'clock, I got up at 6 this morning, a Sunday, and got ready to go to this Maui Mastermind, which is an awesome organization that provides coaching services to not only physicians, but to business people in need. And there's such a huge need for it. So I want to set this up properly too, and tell you that when I opened my business, before I opened my business, I had the great experience of going to a JT Fox, trying to think of what it was called then, Mega Partnering, I think. And it was in Orlando. And one day I'll do just a full segment on that, because that was like the universe was screaming at me to go to this, and I had no idea why. And then I completely understood why when I got there. Well, actually before I got there. But just to stay on task with what I'm trying to parlay about what happened today, I absolutely loved this whole coaching organization. And I believe in my heart of hearts that if I didn't go, I wouldn't have been as meticulous in terms of planning my business as I was with the help of JT Fox and his coaching organization. Only because I have a hard time with people that don't want to spend money on their business, because it takes money to make money. I mean, that's such an old saying, but this is just to share with you to prove a point. But my husband came with me and Cooper. They spent a day in Orlando, and they met JT Fox and they met the coaches, because I was like, I needed a barometer, and my barometer is Rob Feckety. And he and Cooper even was there and was kind of really enjoying what was happening, but he's kind of my, like, I'm all in. I'm like so excited. I just want to go, go, go. And he was kind of like, I'm not sure. I'm not positive. Let's feel it out. So he got to meet them, and that was great. And JT Fox and this other gentleman sat in a room, and myself and Cooper, and we talked about the coaching and how it would propel my business a lot faster. And they were right. So Rob actually was the one who put the deposit on this coaching on his credit card, because I was still working in a practice and I just didn't have the funds to write a check for $10,000. But I wanted to, I just didn't have it. But it was around Christmas time and I knew I was going to get my bonus. And then, so I set up a payment plan and I paid them 10 grand. And then from there, I've spent a ton more money following them, buying stuff from them, learning from them, coaching, so much. But it was the best investment. So from there, I got to meet Al Pacino, Randy Zuckerberg, 50 Cent. There's a lot more. But so that was just amazing exposure. I met the guy who built my website. I found out about Fiverr. It was this great insight to how I was going to build and build and build. I'm still with the same business coach today. He's in Dallas, Texas. His name is Kevin. But I don't pay him anywhere near what we started out with, because I talk to him every month. But I never had to travel anywhere. I just had to go to Orlando. I went to LA one time because it was Al Pacino. Duh. Like, I was going to go and Sylvester Stallone. So I wasn't going to miss that. And I flew there, but I had a client pay for me to go. Just saying. I worked out a deal. I'm a negotiator. So the only thing I paid for was the flight. No, actually I didn't pay for any of it. But getting back to the story, if you ever want to know how to negotiate, just ask me. There was a wonderful opportunity for me to learn so much. I'm sorry about the lighting. I know it keeps going in and out because the weather's crazy behind me. But today, fast forward 4 years later, and I would never get on a plane and go anywhere unless somebody else was paying for it when it comes to business for me. And knowing what I know now and witnessing what I witnessed today, I know the business of coaching. I do executive coaching myself for my clients, and I charge very little in comparison to most, but because they're phone calls, and they're very helpful. I have stayed with some clients for 2 years now, in other states, but it's interesting, and I want to say great things about them because they've also referred me a potential huge client. So how would I even say anything that wasn't amazing about this organization? But the thing that I'm not a fan of, what I took out of this, and maybe they just don't know that, is that, and I wrote it down. I wrote down a lot of notes today, but one of them was, I've always said this to my clients: if you have an amazing administrator, CEO, you don't need me. Or really, you don't need me unless you want some PR work on the side done. But if you have the business handled and you have somebody great that you trust, you don't need me. But what happens with me a lot is I will bring that person in, and then I will remove myself slowly, because I've given them the skills that they need to soar, and I don't need to stay, right? I will stay as long as a client wants me to, but typically it's a year. And what I witnessed today is that because they're diving into this physician model, because there's so many medical practices that need this help, I was thinking the whole time, like, where are the managers? Where are the administrators? Where are these people that are running the offices? Why aren't they there? Because they're the ones that are going to, put everything into action. I wrote this down because this is a great example. It's like teaching Snapchat to a doctor, right? Because I don't even know it fully. And I've watched the YouTube videos and I listen to Gary Vaynerchuk and I'm immersed and I could do it. It's just not at the forefront of what I want to do right now. I'm vlogging. I'm taking all of this great advice of things that I need to do. I'm learning about podcasting. But some things you need somebody that's going to be able to execute for you, right? So Dr. Singh came up and hands down my favorite part. What amazing emotional intelligence this man has. And at the top of the list, he said, the most important thing about running your business is the people, is your team, are the humans. And who is hiring them? Who's recruiting those people? That's so important. So it's one of the first things I always find out. I go in, I restructure, but I start with like, well, you have this team here, but how did they get here? Who's hired them? It's a skill. It's a talent, and then there's reference checks and yada, yada, yada. So a lot of these practitioners don't understand that because they're not taught business in medical school. I mean, this is over and over and over again. It's the same story that I'm hearing, that I'm talking about all the time. It's not fair to them. I want them to have somebody with them that can be there like their wingman, I ran the last practice I was in like I owned it. I've always been an entrepreneur before I became an entrepreneur. I've always been that mindset. If somebody was writing me a check, I own the business because I will work to the death for you, because I respect that so much in somebody that has taken the time to pay for my services. So I don't take that for granted. But this was, it was very just interesting. A lot of great content, but I'm looking around the room and thinking just that. Some of it is like teaching Snapchat to an 80-year-old. Let's not say doctor. Let's just say teaching it to somebody that doesn't even have any interest in it. Doctors excel in medicine. That's what they went to school for. That's what they want to do. They want to help people. They're givers. And some of them fall into this entrepreneurial mindset, which is awesome too. But then they need somebody that's going to execute, always. So I have a lot of thoughts about today, but I must say that I'm so glad that there is somebody already there that is opening the mindset for me before I get there. Because sometimes that's the most difficult. A question was asked, like when physicians say maybe they have an ego and it's very difficult to teach them something or suggest something that they might not know or understand. That's the hardest part of it, right? I tell everybody, oh, please, whatever you do, don't tell that doctor he needs me, because I get that a lot. I know this doctor, he needs you, don't tell him. Because if they don't know, I can't help them. It's only when somebody understands that they need the help that I can really do my best work. And that's really all I want to do, is just offer a lot of value. So today was really good. It was another eye-opening experience. I really got so much out of Dr. Singh and asked if I could connect with him, because I believe that he could be part of, say, a panel discussion, because physicians like to hear from other entrepreneurial physicians when it comes to running a business. Sometimes hearing it from somebody like me who doesn't have MD after her name is not, it's not easy. And I get that. I really get that. I mean, they will cling to their own industry. That makes sense to me. But it's funny because there was another room and there was all different industries in there. And as much as I wanted to be with Dr. Laura, my client, who I adore, and Marcus, I was like, I want to be in there. Because you learn so much more from other businesses. I want to learn from people like Jeff Bezos and, Google and, everything. The big global companies is who I want to learn from. I don't want to hear from a small mom and pop shop. I want to learn from other industries. And that opens up my creative brain. So it was a great weekend. It's 3 o'clock now. I hope this wasn't too long, but I wanted to get it all out and share as much raw feedback as I could. I know it wasn't that raw, but I have a lot of empathy for the choices that are made in business. I really do. That's why I don't have any right to judge anybody. I paid myself for a huge coaching organization, but I have no regrets about that. It was a wonderful introduction to what I'm doing today, and it has allowed me to soar faster, I believe. So, just like everybody else was saying there today, pay the experts. Don't try to figure it all out on your own. Just pay the experts to do it. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. It sounds like it stopped raining, which I'm very happy about. And then I get to go grocery shopping. Isn't my life as an entrepreneur so exciting? I get to go to Publix. Okay. Have an awesome Sunday night. And thanks for tuning in, my 2 viewers. You're my favorite. Okay, bye.